r/entitledparents by Reddit upvoter. Please like and subscribe. EM vandalizes my car because I won't give her my parking spot. Posted by MC Jimbo. I enjoy this sub frequently, but never really thought I'd have a genuine EP story to share. However, today I crossed paths with the Megakaran and, although she seriously disrupted my day, I'm kind of tickled to fin. I'll I be able to contribute something. Cast. Me meticulous eraser. EM excessively monstrous. EK-.hhh, kid. I work in an office building with about 3 dozen companies operating on the premises, and because of the odd layout of the building we have 6 different parking lots. I prefer using the hidden lot that requires you to drive through one of the indoor lots to reach, which between being hard to find, and all of the spots being marked compact is usually less crowded than some of the lots closer to the road, not to mention that the door into the building from that lot is right next to my office, so it's convenient in every way for me personally. Today, it was raining cats and dogs when I arrived at the office. For some reason, my normal lot was unusually full. However, someone pulled out of a prime space just as I arrived, giving me a much shorter walk through the wetness to reach the door. I exchange polite nods with the guy leaving, then pull into the space behind him. As I'm getting out of my car and grabbing my laptop bag out of the back, I hear some distant car horn honking, but think nothing of it since it's practically on the other side of the lot. When I turn around to head inside, though, M rolls up in an oversized SUV and slides to a stop on the wet pavement between me and the building, splashing me with a bit of puddle in the process. EM, that spot wasn't for you. Me, excuse me? EM, that parking spot. I was waiting for it and you stole it from me. Me now irritated, where? The highway off-ramp? EM, no. I've been looking for a parking spot for 20 minutes, and when one comes open it's for the first person, waiting. At this point, I look up and take stock of the whole row of empty spaces she had ignored to come over, and harass me about taking her space, and consider the fact that the claim she's making, that whoever was waiting first gets the first available space, is not now, nor has it ever been, a real point of etiquette. Me gesturing, there are plenty over there that were open before I even got here. Take your pick. EM, no. I need that spot. You need to move, now. Me, why on earth do you have to have this spot? EM gesturing to the back seat, so my baby doesn't get wet walking from all the way over there. I look in the back seat, and the kid looking back at me was easily 10 to 12 years old. Also, over there couldn't have been more than 50 feet further to walk in the rain. EK, sup? Me, that's not a baby. He'll be fine. And anyway, your car wouldn't fit in this compact spot. I move and point so she can read the 6-inch tall letters marking the spot as smaller than average, but if you go around that side of the building, there's another lot that isn't compact spaces. EM, whatever, are you gonna move or not? Your fat ass needs the extra exercise anyway. Me already cranky because I hadn't eaten yet, now pissed that this orangutan in lipstick is talking to me this way. Well, I'm definitely not moving for such a colossal bitch. Have fun walking in the rain. I hope you get struck by lightning. I quickly walked away while this charming example of humanity hurled abuse after me. Now, admittedly, about 15 minutes later, once I was settled in at my desk, I started feeling really badly that I told this woman I hope she gets struck by lightning, even if there was no lightning going on in that rainstorm. I continued to feel bad for all of 5 minutes, when the sound of a car alarm caused me to go to the window and look out. This woman had parked somewhere, gotten out of the car, and was now keying the hell out of my driver's side door, while Ek recorded it on his phone. I took a quick picture of them in the act on my own phone, and immediately called building security to tell them what was going on. So guess who got arrested for destruction of property and assault? Oh, right, she also spit on and scratched the security guard who went to confront her, so assault. And everything that went down from beginning to end was practically right under a security camera, so it got a good look at her, her kid, and her car including license plate, so no way she's getting away with it. And since the slur she etched into my car door is homophobic, she may also get charged under hate crime laws. So that's fun. If I end up going to court, having to testify, ever deal with this woman again, etc., I will totally post an update. Edited for typos. I don't care if your leg is broken, I want the window seat. Posted by Starlit Mayhem. I didn't think I really had anything to post here, but then, I remembered I used to have an entitled best friend. Cast. EM equals entitled mom. EF equals ex-friend. Brother. OP, me. Mom, my mom who is a CNAP. This happened close to 5 years ago, so bear with me, please. Backstory. Sorry. Back in 7th grade, I went to my F's birthday party. The party was held at a roller skating rink, and I ended up breaking both my ankle and my leg by falling, to the point where I needed surgery. While my F first showed her true colors after this incident, that's a story for another time. Today, we talk about how a trip to a place famous for something that sounds similar to the Pace Beetle. If I remember correctly, we went to this place for my birthday. It had been a few months since I broke my leg and ankle, so I was in a walking boot and had crutches, as I still couldn't put a lot of weight on the leg that was broke. I decided to invite my F. Now, looking back, that was a horrible, horrible mistake, and I should never have done that, especially considering, after what she'd done, when I hurt myself at her party. I was a 7th grader who didn't have a lot of friends, so. Anyways, on the drive there, all she did was complain. Like, I'm not even kidding. She complained about the heat, about food we hadn't gone to eat where she wanted us to, and about how terribly boring the car ride was. On the way there, I was in a window seat, and so was she. My brother was in the middle. Now, my brother is super tall, so I can't imagine he was comfortable, but he wanted to make us happy. Another thing about this was that F had put all of her stuff in the back seat. Forget about the trunk of the car. She didn't want her stuff to get messy or ruined or squished, and demanded that she get to have her stuff with her. Of course, her EM agreed, and when me and my brother started to complain, she yelled at us. EM, she can have all her stuff with her. She gets bored. Besides, you two have your stuff. Now, note that the only thing me and my brother had was a book and a pillow each. We had put all of our stuff in the trunk, like we were supposed to. When my mom questioned it, she did the same thing, and because my mom wasn't in the mood for an argument, she let it slide. So, EF put all her shit in the back seat of the car and literally squished us just so she could be comfortable. We dealt with it. Eventually, we got to the place we were going for my birthday, and surprisingly, she was very well behaved the entire time we were there. But then it ended. There's always this. As soon as we got back to our car, shit started to get real. F demanded she get a window seat again, and that my brother should sit in the middle. EF, what? I don't want to sit in the middle. It's too uncomfortable. I get carsick. Me, what? You've never gotten carsick before. EF, I do. Why can't we sit in the middle? This is when my mom stepped in. Mom, because he had to sit in the middle on the way here, it's only fair that you sit in the middle on to way back. She was speaking very calmly, but EF wasn't having it. EF, no it's not. Why can't Op sit in the middle? She didn't sit in the middle on the way here. Mom, Op can't because she has a broken leg, and has to be able to actually have room for the boot and everything, so she doesn't get hurt. EF, that's just an excuse. Mom. Her mom came over, looking confused. EF, tell OP's mom to me sit in a window seat. They aren't letting me. EM frowned, and looked over to my mom. EM, just let her sit in a window seat. B or OP can sit in the middle again. But that's not minus. My mom cut him off. Mom, no, EF is sitting in the middle. I already told you. B sat in the middle on the way here, and OP is still healing from her broken leg. She had had just about enough. EM looked as if we had just slapped her. What? How dare you? EF needs a window seat. She gets carsick, she doesn't. Besides, OP doesn't even have an actual cast on anymore. She doesn't need a window seat. She's probably even faking how much pain she's in. Now this pissed my mom off. Mom, excuse me? How dare you? She is very obviously still in pain. Do you even know how much time it takes for 2 broken bones to heal? Then add the time to heal from the surgery. B and OP get the window seats. EF can sit in the middle, or you can catch a train ride home. I was almost crying by now because I hated being told I was a liar. EF started legitimately bawling and screaming about how she needs a window seat. My mom had enough and starting throwing their stuff out of the trunk and telling them to catch a train home, because they're being so disrespectful. It was at this moment that EF started coughing and making it seem as if she was having an asthma attack. She doesn't have asthma. All the while, still screaming and crying while putting on this charade. Look what you did. You made F have an asthma attack. Calling the cops for abuse. Yes, she actually said that. And then, she actually called the cops. My mom was forced to wait for them because if she didn't she could be charged with fleeing the scene. An ambulance showed up to deal with EF and shortly thereafter, cops did too. Stormed up to them and started screaming about my mom. Arrest her. She abused my daughter. She hit her with a stick. She was verbally abusive to both me and my daughter. My mom didn't even have a stick in her hand, she had a water bottle. The cop seemed baffled and listened before talking to my mom, who told them what really happened. The cop was almost shaking his head with disbelief at what my mom was saying, while was nearly purple in the face with rage, and screaming about how my mom was a liar. As for EF, well, the paramedics determined that it was not an asthma attack, and that she had just made herself sick with all the screaming and crying, so they told her to relax. And once she did, they left. After the cop got any of our statements he determined that based on eyewitness, none of what was saying actually happened. He let off, with a warning for disturbing the peace and told my mom that she should just take them home and be done with it. My mom got EF to sit in the middle. She definitely wasn't happy and reluctantly agreed to take them home. We dropped them off at their house without a word and then drove to ours. It only gets worse from this incident. But those are other stories for other times. Sorry for the anticlimactic ending. TLDR, my ex-best friend throws a massive bitch fit over being asking to sit in the middle seat on the way home from a trip. Mom calls cops for abuse. Cops decide there is no abuse present, and we take and EF home. Edit. Wow. This has got a lot of attention. Thank you. As for those of you who don't believe me, well, I don't care. It didn't happen to you. Believe it or not, your choice. I'm not really in the mood to argue with others over something that happened to me. I'll write more about EF and soon. Promise. Entitled Mother at GameStop involving the police and me ending in handcuffs. Posted by Deleted. EP, entitled Parent. EK, entitled Kids. GM, GameStop Manager. P, Police. I went to GameStop on Saturday to pick up chat with a friend and browse the merchandise. I also wanted to get an Xbox X and a PS4, along with some games, roughly spend more money there than I have ever before. I was there for about an hour or two having conversations with 3 people, 1 employee, my friend and the manager. After a while I was talking with the employee about specifications between the consoles and the differences between the versions of the PS4. The manager stepped out for lunch. A short time later EP and EK walked in and rushed to the Switch section. While I was shifting through the games, the employee went to ask them if they needed help finding anything. She asked some questions, but I tuned them out while me and my friend talked about certain games. About 20 minutes later, I knew what I was getting. The employee was getting everything together. A PS4 Pro, 2 controllers, PSVR and 5 games, an Xbox One X, an Elite controller, an Astro headset and 4 games. My friend was talking about a game he wanted and I said I'd get it for him as a favor for helping me out a few months ago. He thanked me and that was it, almost. The EP and EK saw what was going on and heard me and they came right over and the EP asked if I would help her and her children and buy them a game. I said no thank you. She was looking at me like I was crazy, and said you Ray buying him what he wants, why won't you buy my kids something? I told her that he's my friend and I am giving him something back after he helped me out. She looked at everything on the counter, and said how old are you? You're too old to be playing all those games, you don't need them, you should give them to my kids. I said my age is irrelevant, people of any age can play video games and you Ray children are too young to play the games I am buying, they are rated M for mature, and I am not going to buy you Ray children things they don't need. She then tells her kids to beg for the video games and I quickly turn to her and tell her that you Ray not a responsible adult and parent by teaching your kids to beg for free stuff. She continues to tell her kids as I am talking to my friend. Suddenly I am grabbed by 2 children pulling on me and jumping begging me to get them something. I gently take their arms off me and keep them away and the kids began crying and the mother said you just touched my children, you pervert. I am calling the police a minute before she calls the police. The manager comes back and sees me grabbing the kids and pushing them away, and tells me to let go of those kids. I told him the whole story, but he wasn't believing it. He only saw a fragment of the confrontation. The manager talks to the woman and she completely lies about what happened. She said that I tried to bribe her to touch her kids while nobody was looking and to even attempt to bribe her with the games I was buying. I was laughing at the conversation that was being said, and I said, surely you can believe this. He was already on the phone with the cops. The employee was in the back of the building during all of this, and I thought I was screwed cause I have seen issues like this and worse cause people automatically go with the woman's story. I may be wrong in some implications, but it's very common for people to believe women over anything. 10 minutes later the cops arrive, and when I try to talk to one of them, she butts in to give her story first. So she tells the same story to the cops and the manager tells the same, and the cops look at me and one of them puts me in handcuffs without hearing my side. I am totally freaking out by how this has come down onto me being the bad guy based on a lie. I finally get to tell them my side of the story, and even my friend backs me up, but I was told her story is more believable than mine, and I said you'll believe her without proof. They have security cameras in every corner of the building. Look at the footage and see for yourself. The look on her face was life-shattering. She tried to say that she wasn't going to press charges, but they wanted to keep her here. The manager and one of the officers go look at the surveillance video and soon come out and take the cuffs off of me, and they apologized. They asked he why she attempted to lie to them and ruin my life and reputation, and she replied with he's too old to be playing those games, he should give them to me and my kids. They asked me if I wanted press charges. I said no, but I don't want her to get a slap in the wrist for this. They talked to her outside, and after identifying her they found that she had a warrant for her arrest for something else. I was just flabbergasted over the whole situation. The manager tried to apologize for how he reacted to the situation, and I just told him I wanted a copy of the footage. He asked why, and I said ask the cops cause I will be making a complaint on how you presented yourself. Few moments later I get a copy and go home and didn't even want the games anymore. A few days later I found out that the store was closed down awaiting new staff members. I may have caused an issue with a retail manager, but he should have handled the situation more professionally. He should have checked the surveillance video in the beginning instead of calling the police. If he had done that, then that woman wouldn't have gotten arrested and he wouldn't have been fired. I mainly feel bad for the children involved in this. They are being raised by a crazy woman who thinks begging and lying is the only way to get what you want in life. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.